Hello and welcome. I am Siddharth Zarabi and we are reporting from the World Economic Forum in Davos, and we have with us now Romal Shetty, the CEO of Deloitte South Asia. Romal, thank you very much for joining us here today. This is a very interesting time and a Big Four boss to be here. The first question should obviously be, tell us the state of the mind of global CEOs and Indian CEOs when it comes to the state of the economy.
Yeah, I mean the first thing is I think if you take in the global CEOs and Indian CEOs, I think there are three tectonic shifts that are happening. First is of course the AI disruption, and I think it's a once in a generation kind of a thing that is happening. Second is of course geopolitics, because I don't know today, can I trade with someone, can I not trade with something, what will happen, can this data flow stop, can the capital flow stop? And the third is of course you have a Gen Z and you have now Gen Alpha and others coming in. So it's probably these things happen once in a generation. Three things are happening at the same time, and therefore it's probably a lot of uncertainty. But still, considering all the uncertainty, the Indian economy is still doing pretty well, still doing far better than everybody else. With 50% tariffs, we're still growing at 8%, 7%. Right? So I'm still optimistic about India and the fact that we're still able to manage with this kind of tariffs and this kind of geopolitical, uncertainty. I think we're still okay. We're still doing well.
Romal, in terms of managing the resilience of India is due to multiple factors, including a consumption-based economy. But one of the challenges is supply chains, ability to have access to technology, raw materials, and these are capacities that can't be built overnight. Do you think we have made progress in the recent past, or is it just crisis management, frankly?
No, so I mean, this kind of what's happening in the world is unexpected for anybody. But some parts I think we have moved ahead. So semiconductors, it's not that we've got the best semiconductor technology, but we've started moving ahead a lot in semiconductors. Right? We are getting data centers, for example, in India. My view is, I think the move for India has to move to a lot more IP, a lot more product, a lot more innovation, than doing something else that somebody is doing. So doing something that nobody else has done is where India has to move, and has manufacturing. If you look at physical AI, the top three countries in the world are Asian countries. They're not actually America in physical AI. In other AI, Gen AI, of course, you clearly see.
What would the distinction be?
So physical AI could be a camera, could be a robot, could be a humanoid. Those three are Asian countries. Korea, China, Japan are actually leading. Right? It's America at 4, but at a distant fourth. So again, our manufacturing, we'll have to start combining both the physical side of AI plus the human beings, the workers, to actually sort of then take it to scale. And the fact is that as India gets to the next 100, 200, 300 million people, I think our consumption, what you're seeing today, consumption, that will actually increase dramatically.
The recent global investments that have come into India, let's say American investments in the data center space, for example, and Japanese investments in our banking space, what do they tell you? Is this like sectoral picking by foreign investors, or do you see other sectors where foreign capital, FDI, can come in the near future?
So I think where there is scale, where there is technology, and where there is unmet demand, I think the global players will come for those kind of sectors only, right? So they may not necessarily come for everything. So that means, obviously, if you look at data centers and others, that is a unmet demand, because we will need a lot of data center in India, but not only for India. It may be actually for outside countries. So we don't think necessarily that data centers are for India. If you take financial services, access to credit still can be dramatically improved. 3 times. We were talking to Amitabh just now. So, 3 or 4 times more as well, right? From considering. So it's got to be, it is sectoral. It will not be all sectors. Healthcare. I do think healthcare is tremendous, because 1.4 billion people, the data sets that we have, Siddharth, we maybe be able to identify a lot more issues well in advance compared to others, because nobody has this kind of data sets, variety of data sets as well. So I would say it is going to be sectoral. It's not going to be every sector, but yeah, we've got some good potential.
In an earlier conversation, one of my guests said that India, forget the talk between being a AI superpower, US, China, forget that. Just position yourself as a global hub for AI and its development, and in some ways enabling AI through all of this and skilled manpower. Is that a proposition that you agree with?
I would agree, but somewhere we need to have our own sovereign infrastructure as well, because it can get cut off anytime. And so therefore we need to build. I mean, it's not that we have to do everything, but we have to build some bit of our own sovereign infrastructure. So therefore I do think that is essential as well.
And do you think the efforts that are being made through the AI mission at the central government level or certain companies, how would you assess the overall private and public sector initiatives in this regard?
So if I did a broad brush, less than 25% of pilots are getting converted into enterprise-wise programs. Unless you get into 65-70% of pilots that move into enterprise-wise AI programs, you're not going to be successful. I think so. That's what we need to move towards. We also need to reskill our people, because AI as a strategy, everybody has in India. Everybody has. Everybody's thinking. Somebody may not be doing too much about it, but somebody may be doing a lot. But the infra and the people skilling has to be completely different from today's what people are skilled. So I think that is something that we need to work on.
Let's turn the spotlight to Deloitte. And you've been championing a lot of change ever since you've been in the driver's seat. But I want to ask you, in terms of AI utilization, deployment within your organization, what have you been up to in the recent past?
So today, 60% of all our transformation programs has AI embedded into it or enabled. And what we mean by that is, one is creating small programs that can improve productivity. But what we are saying is, for us, AI means reimagine the business model, reimagine business processes, and not only augment or optimize a process or optimize an activity. Why we are only writing codes, right? We write codes for everybody in the world. Why can't we build products? Right? When we know how to, so don't use code writing to optimize, to do it 30% faster, but actually create a new business model. So within us now, number of our products, Siddharth, actually have, so for example, our tax. So I can give you a tax opinion. If I give you a tax opinion and charge you, 90% of that will be done by a machine. 10% is...
I'm not at a CTC where I have to take tax opinion from Deloitte. But yeah, the thought is inspiring.
And we are also trying to build a platform for the MSME in India to say that, we couldn't work with the MSME. We were probably more expensive than others. But now we're saying that with
rolled out a product.
With AI and we've called Project Bharat. AI and agentic AI, I can service MSMEs, give them compliance service, give them GST and services, give them finance and account services, inventory optimization, which earlier I could not do it, right? And so I think that is what we are relooking. 30,000 of our people have been trained in AI in India. 30,000 people. This is more than anywhere else, worldwide.
Wow, significant numbers, and this is Indian scale of what some of the largest companies do. I want to wrap up this conversation about your advice to a young aspirant who is looking at a future in the workforce. In the age of AI, what are the qualities that you would prize in people who are just set to graduate?
I think really, 3 or 4 key qualities. I think be curious, learn about AI. There is nobody who can say that we know AI and we know everything about AI. Nobody knows, to be honest. Right? Everybody is learning, so learn. Second is figure out how to do a problem framing. You don't need to work about problem solving, but can you frame a problem well? This is a different capability. Third is judgment.
I have to interrupt you before judgment. You said problem framing. Yeah. I mean, it almost sounds like learn prompt engineering.
Prompt is one part of it, yes. But I think if you define what exactly is the problem, you'll get the answer rather than trying to sort of do iterative methods. I think that is one thing. Also, I think your ability to have judgment is extremely important, and your ability to have empathy is also extremely important. I think our belief, as Deloitte and otherwise, is that it's got to be human-led, but AI-powered. And that's the combination of how, and you have to have the ease and ability to work with machines and humanoids. You will have a humanoid walking along with you, giving you a cup of tea and doing things, but you'll have to work along with that. And that compatibility is also very important.
Very, very significant changes in the world that we live in. It's not just about trade and tariffs, but disruptions continue. Many of them are positive, and perhaps just as we are taught in our system of philosophy that you remain optimistic and the results will come. Romal, I thank you for this short but sweet conversation here at the World Economic Forum. I'll come back with many more. Until then, goodbye.